the crime of this century. When all is said and done, it's unlikely that the Seckler family's murder of close to 1 million people will be remembered as the century's greatest crime. 43 million people are now slaves. Think about the consequences. Making the connections, Zelensky sold Monsanto, Dupont, and Cargill 17 million hectares, 170,000 square kilometers, of agricultural land. Yes, you did read that right. 17 million hectares to chemical and GMO manufacturers. Given that Ukraine is the world's top supplier of wheat and other crops, this is in no way advantageous for the global community. Globally, industrially produced GMO-poisoned crops are the biggest threat to biodiversity. Food production with poison. Zelensky sold 28% of Ukraine's total land area. This accounts for more than half of the country's total arable land. According to the Australian National Review, 3 significant U.S. cross-border consortiums have purchased 17 million hectares of farmland in Ukraine. To contrast, there are 16.7 million hectares of arable land in Italy as a whole. It turns out that 3 American businesses operating in Ukraine purchased more valuable farmland than was purchased in the entirety of Italy. Not to mention the same thievery and environmental destruction that the typical culprits have committed and continue to do in Brazil and Ethiopia. Ukraine has a total area of 603,548 square kilometers. Ukraine is the 45th largest country in the world and the 2nd largest country in Europe by area after Russia. What kinds of businesses are Monsanto, Dupont, and Cargill? Despite having American capital, they are legally German Australians. BlackRock, Blackstone, and American Vanguard are their largest shareholders. Additionally, they promote chemical biocide death. They gave us glyphosate, Teflon, cyclone PCBs, aspartame, DDT, nylon, and many other abominations, in addition to the dioxin in Agent Orange. Vanguard has $6 billion in assets under management, Blackstone $881 billion, and BlackRock $10 billion. These are the businesses that form the fabric of civilization. Therefore, it appears that world hunger has already been eliminated. Then add the contemporary colonialism that was purchased in Ethiopia. Rape, plunder, and flee right away. Plunder, rob, poison, tip, and flee. A quality type of agriculture makes up 55% of Ukraine's total land area. Places with rich topsoil have significant agricultural value. But for a long time, these spaces were exclusively available for lease. A ban on the sale and purchase of land was enacted by the Ukrainian government in 2001 and was subsequently extended 10 times. Farmers with small, unsuccessful plots of land preferred to rent them. Thus, enormous agricultural corporations that continue to use and cultivate the precious black soil for low rents came to control these little estates. After pressure from the Washington-based International Monetary Fund, IMF, the situation altered on July 1, 2021, opening the door for the sale of the property. The Zelensky administration started the process of privatizing land, opening up the market for agriculture to investors from outside Ukraine. The price per acre quickly increased from $2,500 to $10,000, which is still a reasonable deal given the excellent nature of the property. The wheelbarrow used by Zelensky is now in American hands. 3 international consortia with U.S. financing have emerged as Ukraine's top buyers in the year since the reform. The Australian National Review claims that these 3 multinational corporations have acquired a combined total of 17 million hectares of agricultural land, or 28%, or nearly a third of all arable land. Monsanto, Cargill, and Dupont are the 3 titans. According to the portal, the Ukrainian government, acting as a puppet, has permitted 3 U.S. businesses to buy more farmland than there is in the entirety of Italy. Additionally, they assert that Ukrainians no longer own the land in Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky himself had before referred to tales of the Chinese, Arabs, and aliens wheelbarrowing through Ukrainian territory as horror legends. China has already claimed a position. the US is hardly the first country to be interested in Ukrainian farms. According to a Wall Street Journal piece that was published earlier, China agreed to a 50-year lease for 5% of Ukraine's total land area, or 9% of its prime farmland. And George Soros has already demonstrated how cost-effective purchasing agricultural land is. Soros, who has previously purchased huge land parcels, stated, "I am confident that one of the best assets of our time is agricultural land." Many speculators have imitated Soros' move. Since Ukraine is a major supplier of agricultural products, including 16% of the world's maize and 12% of its wheat, its position in the global food system is also critical. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel.